From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Breakfast with Bob.
And Pacho Man, everybody. Welcome to our 11th year of Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Huggles on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babbitt. Brought to you by Master Spas, as fuels go longer. HOKA, Let's Fly, Forum Smart Swim Goggles, Quintanaroo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, and our Challenge Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, Mr. Sam Laidlow, coming off an 8th place at Ironman St. George, and a 4th place at the US Open. That's very impressive. How you doing, Sam?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, I went for a nice little swim this morning and heard I could get free breakfast here, so I'm here.
I like it. Always taking care of free breakfast. So we were just chatting beforehand that with yourself and Florian and Daniel Bakkegaard, that you guys all did really well at St. George. You're all front pack swimmers. There could be a little gap that you guys create.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I don't really know what to expect here. You know, I'm a newbie, and
lots of newbies. Gustav, Christian, yourself, Dan. There's so many guys who have not been here before.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting, and I think the times will come drastically down this year. I think there's lots of guys that feel like they're capable of going maybe sub 8. You know,
right.
And yet there's only been 4 or 5 guys I think ever that have been under the 8-hour mark, so either we're completely inexperienced and don't know what we're talking about, or we're gonna hopefully bring the sport to a new level, and it's great to see.
Well, it's funny because we were talking to David McNamee at St. George, and all of us were thinking that course with 7,000 feet of climbing was going to be really tough for anybody to go sub 8. And he goes, "Oh no, there's going to be 5, 6, 7 guys sub 8, and someone's going to win this at sub 750," and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because the predicted time in St. George was actually slower than the Kona course. And,
right.
And I think I was the first guy to not go under 8 hours. So yeah, it was impressive, and just every race I do, I'm just amazed because the level keeps getting pushed higher, and it's great because when I look back and think, okay, like I look at the numbers I'm doing now, and actually I'm where I want to be. It's just that everybody else is even better, you know. So it's really good, and it's really inspiring every race.
Well, when you look at that being a tougher course in St. George, and you swam 47, you rode 415, you ran 255, went 802. There was a lot of years at one here in Kona on a course that's not as difficult as that.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I really don't know what to expect here. At the moment, people ask me if how I'm going to prepare for this race and what I'm going to do, but I don't think you can really prepare for this race if you haven't been here, you know. So I went to Dallas and it was hot there, and I felt good and felt like I still had a lot of kilometers in me on the run. So yeah, I'm just really excited, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds and just probably learn, because I really feel like it's a course where we see who's really tough, you know, and me just in myself, I want to find out if I am tough or not.
Well, I think we all know that you're tough. And the fact that you got into the sport when you were 4 years old, you're 23, you've almost been in the sport for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Does it ever get old?
No, I mean, I feel like I'm just getting started, you know. Whatever the result is on next Saturday, I know within myself that I have a massive room for improvement, and that we're only just scratching the surface. So again, that's what really excites me. And
since you guys you do camps, the family does camps, what has been the biggest change in the sport over this last number of years?
So I think the pandemic had a really positive effect, especially on younger athletes, because I guess usually when you start triathlon, you have to when you start in your career, you have to do lots of races and go from race to race, kind of make a name for yourself. But what happened when there was no racing was that we could just kind of like sit back and not go to races and start training properly, and I think that's why in St. George we saw a flourish of so many youngsters in the top 10, and I think we'll see it again here. You know, it really meant that we could just say, okay, well, why not try and do an Ironman? Why not? Like up until a few years ago, it was still frowned upon to kind of go to the iron distance so early, and now I would say it's probably the the guys who are all under 28, 29 that are almost dominating the sport. So
yeah, and this is definitely the youngest pro field I've ever seen on the starting line here. Usually, people might get into it after ITU toward 27, 28 years old. And we have, between yourself and Magnus and Daniel, there's a lot of really, really young athletes who could win this race. You could take a list right now and take 10, 12, 15 people who could win this race. When you go into this, are you thinking about the other guys? You just do your own thing?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, we go in with a strategy, which is obviously to do your own thing, stay within your numbers. But when you pin a number on, or at least for me, it's very difficult. I like to race aggressively, and I like to race from the front. I like to put the pressure on, and I mean, it kind of works in half Ironmans and the PTO distance. Yeah, so far it's been a bit harder, obviously, to race aggressively when you have 7 hours ahead of you, probably. But that's just how I like to race, and I'll keep on doing it. I like to see. I'd rather try to win, and blow up, and I've always said that, because I feel like you need to know what it's like to be at the front to know how to win the race. I'm never going to be somebody who races coming from the back and just stays within myself and then hopefully wins. The day when I do win, I want to dominate the race, and yeah, that's what I'm striving towards long term.
Well, it's funny because we've seen over the years, there's a lot of folks who come off the bike in 16, 17 place and run their way up to 7th or 8th, and you're always like, wow, next time they're going to be up there. But you have to have the courage to go off the front to find out, how can I test myself? Am I going to have nutrition issues? Am I going to be running side by side? Without doing that, without having the guts to go off the front, you can't find out where you're at.
Yes, the Ironman is a very fine line between being able to race aggressively, because it is important in certain key moments, but it's knowing when to press that button, and Jan did that perfectly back in 2019. He stayed with the front guys, and then when it started getting tough, he pressed on, but not too much to cook himself for the run. And we see other guys like Alistair Brownlee, who loves to race aggressively, but he's so aggressive that it hasn't panned out.
Blow up.
Yeah, or at least here. But yeah, so it's just knowing, and I guess that comes with experience. So I'm sure I'll make some mistakes, and I hope I do, and I'll learn from them.
So have you spent some time on the course, on the bike course? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so actually the bike course, it's mentally quite challenging, just because I didn't realize kind of just how long the straights were, and but equally it's a lot faster than I kind of thought it was. I remember when I was recceing, for instance, St. George, I would rarely cycle over 36, 37 k's an hour, and here I went out, kind of did some race efforts, and then did like 160k ride at 41 plus kilometers an hour. So I feel on race day that the times are gonna come down, especially with guys like Magnus. Yeah, they're gonna put the pressure on.
Have you been out there with some wind?
Yeah, it was a little windy when I came down Harvey, but actually where I live in the south of France is really windy. They have the World Wind Championships, which basically involves every windsurfing sport under the sun. So yeah, I'm used to a bit of wind.
So getting into the sport with the family when you're 4 years old, when did you get to the point where you felt like, okay, I want to be a pro, and I'm turning pro?
So from when I was 4, pretty much, I said I wanted to win Kona, and that was
really 4 years old. I want to win Kona.
Pretty much. And then I kind of lost the drive. I guess society tries to take it out of you in a way and have more realistic dreams. And then I moved back home when I was 19, and kind of slowly that confidence and that faith has ignited in me again. And every year I believe more and more so that I can eventually achieve that.
So you left home at 13 for National Altitude Training Center. Was it specifically for triathlon?
Yeah, that was it. I heard about a school that was a bit less school and a bit more training, and so I was down for that. And then slowly things evolved, and I started racing short course. And yeah, I had some amazing experiences already at 14. I was alongside Alistair Brownlee and Gomez in these French Grand Prix races, and so very early on I got some experience, and I guess it's the same in Ironman. Very early on, I did my first Ironman when I was 18. So yeah, it's a slow process, and so far I've been getting better every year. And this season, apart from the Collins Cup, has been really good for me. In St. George and both the PTO events, I've come fourth. So yeah, it's been. People see it as a breakthrough year for me, but actually my progression's been slow and steady, I would say.
When I look at the Ironman distances, you're 255 at Ironman Barcelona, 255 at Ironman St. George,
It's not good enough, eh?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm sitting there going, I know you're a 240-something guy. Do you feel like you've gotten there yet, or is that something down the line?
The thing is, I could probably run like a 240 something, but I'd have to hold back quite drastically on the bike, and it's just not my way of racing.
Right.
Sometimes you have to make decisions, and I have to break other athletes. It's like yes. If I was to do an individual time trial, I might take it a bit differently, but equally, race dynamics play a big role, and it's the same in these previous races. I've been doing the PTO races. I've been told to hold back maybe on the bike, but if I'm not the one pushing the pace, then lots of the guys who are just on the limit on the bike, who are good runners, sometimes just by me pushing a little bit more, I can break them.
They're gone.
You know? So it's a risk worth taking. And as I said, I like to race from the front, and just try and keep going until it blows and doesn't work.
How important is the psychological aspect of this in terms of the other athletes? I know you and Sam Long had a little tiff going there. Is that something you like to do, sort of get under people's skin a little bit?
Nah, the goal wasn't that. I just like a bit of banter. It's maybe a bit of my British blood in me. Yeah, he took it quite seriously, but
you were just joking around.
Yeah, I mean, this year I've really been having fun with it, and taking it less seriously. In the past, I've been almost too professional for my own level, you know, and I've actually realised that the more I enjoy it and the more I share these moments, like having breakfast here with you, and just enjoying this journey I'm on, and it's been great, and I'm just looking forward to. Really excited to be here. You know, it's been a long time coming for me, and my dad and me have worked. I feel like forever to be here. So just take it on next Saturday and see what happens. Yeah.
In this day and age, you can't just be an athlete, right? It's an entertainment business.
True,
you need to be a little bit of an entertainer. You need to build social media. Back in the day, it was all about what you want. Period. You have embraced that. You understand that you're building a brand.
Yeah, exactly. I really noticed that in Collins Cup, like the performance is one thing, but now we have to be good on so many levels, and it's very different to what I thought when I was a kid. I thought, I just need to swim, bike, and run really fast, and but yeah, slowly I'm realizing that it's much bigger than that. You know, not only do you have to create a team around you, but you also have to make them believe in the project that you're doing, and then on top of that, kind of share the values that you want to share, and hopefully inspire the people in the way that you want to inspire them. So yeah, it's way more complicated than just swimming, biking, and running, and but yeah, it's equally as exciting.
I think it's tougher to be a pro now than ever before, because there are more demands on your time. You can't just come home and recover. You've got to be doing your posting. You've got to be taking care of your sponsors. There's a lot of different things that go into it. What would it mean to you to win this race?
Oh, I mean, I don't even have the words. You know, see this ring? It has the coordinates of the Kona finish line, and
your ring?
Yeah.
It has the coordinates of the Ironman finish line.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it's my mum's old jewelry that we melted down, and it would mean everything, and I will get there one day. I don't think it will be necessarily this year, but I'm here to learn, and then just keep at it, and I guess even if I don't win it, I would have tried my very best, and I guess that's all that counts, and I'm pretty confident that me and my team will get there though.
Well, and your goal is to impact this race, right? You want to be at the tip, the pointy end of this race, and be dictating what happens out there. And if you do that, then that you've sort of done your job. Yeah,
as I said, I've got nothing to lose. You know, I'm just 23 years old. I'm only getting started, and when I have that race number on, that's it. I'm gone. I'm excited to race, and I'm ready to give it 150%.
Love it. Sam, thank you so much for taking time. It's such an honor to get to chat with you. Give it up for Sam Laidlow. Poncho Man, take us out.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Watch Breakfast with Bob.
Poncho Man, everybody. Thank you, Poncho.